Alright, so I'm just headed out of Juarez today, starting the Peru Great Divide. But I gotta admit, I'm not exactly at 100%. I just have a slight cold, stuffy nose, sore throat, kind of an upset stomach, but not that bad. Now you might be saying, you know, why are you going out on this back roads, high mountain adventure while you're still a little bit sick? But the thing is, I've been resting now for almost 10 days, working on the last episode, and nothing's really changed, so resting time is over. Now it's time to crank.
Welcome to cranking it, yeah, we cranking it. Welcome to cranking it, yeah, we cranking it.
The Peru Great Divide is a bikepacking route that runs for 1.6 megameters along dirt roads through the height of the Peruvian Andes, from Juarez in the north down to the city of Abancay in the south. It was a dreary, cloudy day as I left Highway 3 and joined the route, winding through the open, grassy plains of the Pampa. The route starts with a lengthy descent, from the heights of the Pampa all the way down to the bottom of a narrow river valley. As I got lower, the land became more arid. Tight switchbacks led steeply down through the colorful rocks in a forest of cacti. I crossed the river and headed downstream.
Alright, so I made it down to the bottom. This is the low point of the Peru Great Divide. I'm at about 1,300 meters, and now it's time to start climbing. Headed that way, and it looks like the climb is going to be a pretty steady climb for the next 75 kilometers or so, all the way back up to around 4,500 meters. So, let's get cranking.
I was pleasantly surprised that the road back up the mountain was a narrow lane surfaced with smooth pavement. There were very few cars, and the sky stayed clear. Despite the constant climb, the grade was easy enough that even though it was the longest climb of the route, it wasn't too hard.
Wow, it's absolutely incredible up here. This is like my ideal road. It's way up deep in the mountains, surrounded by these gorgeous peaks of all different colors. And at the same time, the road itself, a very reasonable grade, and also really high quality, smooth pavement. You know, I was actually kind of dreading this climb. It's the longest climb on the route, it looks like. But honestly, it's been a pleasure.
It's always amazing to me how different the landscape is at high elevation. Up here, the trees and vegetation mostly disappeared and was replaced by rocky, craggy mountain peaks and open grassy fields. Of course, the only thing better than climbing a long paved road is descending one, at least until it started raining again. The next day, the pavement ended, and I was back to climbing a rough gravel road, which was more what I expected from the route.
It's been quite a climb, but it's pretty incredible up here. It leaves me breathless, I guess you could say. I'm at about 4,800 meters. It's almost 16,000 feet. Getting up towards the clouds now. It's getting a little cold, but I think I'm near the top. And then I'm just gonna ride back down, find somewhere to camp. All right, well, here's the wall. Apparently, local people built this wall actually to discourage mining in the area. So this is a barricade for mining trucks. I was wondering why there was no traffic on the way up here, but I guess that's it. So I'm gonna have to get across it.
After climbing over the wall, I rode through an abandoned mining camp and continued back down the other side of the ridge. I was constantly amazed by the amazing colors on display in the high peaks, as well as the features of rocks appearing at times like giant castles watching over the valleys below. The shifting weather kept me on my toes. Quick showers were followed by brief breaks of sun, which were followed by more showers.
Well, it's definitely started raining, like I knew it would. It's alright though, because the rain seems to be pretty intermittent and pretty light when it does rain. Not like that hard rain back in Central America. It is cold though. That is the one thing. Fortunately, I'm going uphill, at least the crank keeps me warm. Recently passed the 1/3 mark on the route as well, so that's pretty exciting. You know, with routes that are so long like this, when my kilometerage is so low, this can sometimes be disheartening. Like, am I ever gonna be warm again? but got 1/3 down. I'm expecting this whole route to take about a month. Yeah, we're making progress. Little by little, every day. Before you know it, I'll be in Albancay. There are several passes above 16,000 feet, and they are all a struggle, but each one was worth it for the amazing views they provided. One of the valleys I rode down contained the river Cañete, which is famous for its waterfalls. Along the length of the river were several lakes, each broken up by a waterfall that seemed to filter through the vegetation, creating a network of flat, shallow cascades. After a nice long descent, I again returned to the high mountain roads. Well, it seems like every episode there's some kind of devastating mechanical issue that I need to deal with. Last episode, the derailleur got bent. Episode before that, the frame broke for the second time. And the one before that, I guess the hub failed me. So this episode, we've got a new issue to deal with, and that is that the rim cracked. Let me show you. Looks like I'll need a new rim. Yeah, I guess this is one of the main issues with rim brakes, because it wears down the rim edge a little bit. It's a bummer. I'm almost at the halfway point of the Peru Great Divide, and I was feeling pretty good. You know, I was feeling like I was making good time. I was getting through it without too much issue. Hadn't taken any rest days so far. I'm about 2 weeks in. It's tough, but you know, I was making progress every day. Okay, so I'm riding on my cracked rim. I think that I have to turn around and head back up this road towards Huancayo. That's the closest big city. It's in about 80 kilometers. I tried to flag down a couple of cars to give me a ride, but they're all full of llamas. Parece está lleno. Yeah, okay. Vale, gracias. I'll keep looking though, who knows. Also my pedal just fell off. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Well, I'm going to the bike shop anyway. I guess I'll just replace my pedals while I'm there. It's convenient.
It was slow going. My pedal kept slipping off, and I had to keep kicking it back on. Eventually, I got a ride into town.
Alright, so I'm back on the route. Spent about a day in Huancayo, got the rim replaced, got new pedals. And then I hopped on a bus to Huancavelica, and now today I'm headed out. Feels good to be back on the route, but for some reason I'm kind of regretting the bus ride. It's a little weird. I just feel like it ended up skipping about 2 days worth of riding, and there was no real reason that I needed to do that, and it ended up meaning that there's another gap in my Alaska to Argentina route. Now, before I left, I told myself I wasn't going to be a purist. If there's a good reason to take a bus or something, then I was going to do it. I didn't really think about it much at the time, but now I don't know, I kind of feel dirty. Like I cheated myself a little bit. Oh well. It did save me about a day, and I am kind of behind schedule, so I'm just gonna keep cranking.
Back in the mountains once again, I rode through more colorful peaks, though at times the road deteriorated to the point where I had to push and lift my bike over obstacles. The second half of the Peru Great Divide doesn't reach as high as the first half, but there are still plenty of roads along high ridges and over deep valleys.
Hey, what's up? So it's been a few days since I've done all that much filming. You know, I usually just film when I get especially inspired by a super beautiful landscape, but as I expected, the second half of the Peru Great Divide isn't quite as spectacular as the first. So even though it's pretty beautiful, like, it's still pretty amazing where I am. Normally, that would be enough, but well, I've been kind of spoiled by the really incredible scenery from the start of this route. So I'm coming up on the end of the Peru Great Divide, which is good. You know, I've been looking forward to it. Being up at those really high altitudes, up at 16,000 feet and above, was really awesome. Even if it was pretty low oxygen, kind of hard to breathe getting over some of those passes. Now I'm down at around a measly 10,000 feet, so plenty of oxygen here. And I'm climbing what is basically as far as I can tell, the last big climb of the route. But yeah, I'm getting tired. Looking forward to another few days of rest in Cusco. I've heard it's a beautiful city. Everybody recommends it.
At long last, I left the dirt roads behind. For the next few days, I rode paved highways through more beautiful landscapes. I rode through Abancay and eventually made it to Cusco, where I am now. Soon I'll head out again, heading east and south along the north coast of Lake Titicaca and into Bolivia. Well, I did it. I made it to Cusco, finished up the Peru Great Divide, and man, it was amazing. You know, totally worth it. It was a tough road, but totally worth it. Those mountains, those colorful hills, valleys, even with the altitude and the steep hills, I would totally do it again. If you're thinking about doing it, I would say go for it, even if it's October. The rains weren't even that bad, just a few sprinkles most days. Nothing like the rains in Central America, that's for sure. No mud to speak of, so I think I got pretty lucky on that front. But man, you know, the video doesn't really do it justice. But thank you so much for watching anyway. If you'd like to help support the channel, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. This helps to keep the channel growing. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. That's awesome. I really appreciate everybody watching, commenting, and supporting the channel that way. If you're feeling really generous, you could help support me financially on patreon.com. Just go to patreon.com/crankinit. You can get early access to videos as well as a map of my progress so far. Huge thank you to everyone who's supported me already, and especially thank you to my Crank Tier supporters: Judy Friesem, Dan Phillips, Graham Baron Mickle, Kate and Mike Glasser, Jane Hilton, Joji Kojima, Michael Barker, Marion Hinman, D. Axelrod, Holly and Ed, and Heaven Dubois. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.